Watch this. The gift was still working while the person was imprisoned, even though the person who had the gift wasn't in the place where the gift was taking the person to. I'm saying and I'm proving to you that just because your gift isn't in the space that it's supposed to be in, and maybe it's not there yet, or maybe it just hasn't gotten to where you want it to be, it doesn't mean that you're not gifted.
Let's go. Let's grow.
What's going on?
Let's get it.
carlosVspencer here with another message, another video. If you're watching in, and it's another podcast, if you're listening in on the Vision podcast, thank you for tuning in. Either way, thank you for those who've been liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, all that information. Continue to do so. We're here to make you better. We're here to give you information that's going to motivate you. We're here to push you. We're here to give you something that's going to add to your life. Go ahead and catch up on some of the episodes before this episode to just give you a little bit of a boost to continue going. I say this before, I've said this before, I'll continue to say it again. We believe in making you better, because when you become better, everything that you do and everything that you put your hands to become better. This week, this topic, I want to talk about the Chris Brown effect. So when I say the Chris Brown effect, I know what you're thinking. Are we talking about music? Are we talking about artistry? Are you thinking we talking about hip hop? Are we talking about R&B? Are we talking about the greatest singer and entertainer of all time? I'm gonna let that sit, because I know some of you are like, no, he's not. Michael Jackson is. No, Beyonce is. No, Prince was, or whoever you may see. Oh no, Usher is. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not saying he's the greatest, but I will say when I mention his name, most of you who are listening, probably all of you, know who he is. And a lot of people do think that he's the greatest to ever do it. A lot of people do think that he's the greatest entertainer. That means all things put together. I think he is a very good entertainer. Now, some things set aside, some people may have some personal opinions about some things that he's done in his life. I'm not here to get on that. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm not here to go down that road, and I'm not trying to debate that, or I'm not trying to say some things that he did was okay and was good. I'm talking about clearly the artistry. And when I talk about the artistry, the reason why I bring him up is because he's been doing it for a long time, and he's been doing it at a high level for a long time, and he's been performing as an entertainer. I've heard some people say that when he's shot or shoots music videos, other people in the industry come and watch the video because they just want to be in the presence of some greatness. They just want to be around somebody who's doing something at a great level. Some people have said that they haven't seen that type of entertainment or that type of entertainment package, singing, dancing, music, writing, in the industry, all other things you want to add to that, right? Performing, right? They haven't seen that since the likes of Michael Jackson. Again, I'm not here debating if he's the greatest or if he's not the greatest, but I'm here to say what he's been doing, and for the length of time that he's been doing it, it has been great. And so I want to prove a point here. When you look at him, and even if you don't say he's the greatest, I think it's safe to say you'll put him on the list of maybe top 5 of all time. Maybe it's top 10 of all time, right? You don't even have to be a fan to recognize greatness. There's some people, now, I'm not necessarily a fan of, but that doesn't mean that I don't recognize the greatness in what they're doing. And the reason why I bring that up is the Grammys not too long ago went on, and it just, you start to see things pop up in your media feed, right? On social media, or no matter what platform you're on, you just see things pop up and different information pop up. I saw something pop up about him, and then when I was looking at it, the different Grammy Awards, I looked at how many awards he actually won. Again, I believe it's safe to say you'll put him in the category of the greats. However, whatever number you want to put him as, top 3, top 5, top 10, top 1, whatever you want to put him as, I believe it's safe to say as an entertainer, you'd have to put him in that list of the Michael Jacksons, of the James Browns, of Usher, and of the Beyoncés, of the many other people who I can name many other people that you may be a fan of. Maybe I didn't mention somebody, but I believe he's in the top of the greats. Why do I bring that up? Because when I looked at the Grammys, I saw that he only won 1 Grammy. And I believe that the Grammy that he won was not even in the R&B category, which means the Grammy that he won wasn't even in the category of the lane in where his business or his music or his artistry lies. What point are you trying to prove, Carlos? The point I'm trying to prove here is somebody that is doing great and has been doing it for a long period of time has not been, quote unquote, recognized from the world for one of the highest standards. Yes, he's won some other awards, but when you look at singers, when you look at entertainers, some would say that quote unquote the Grammys is like the highest award. It can be, right? And since that can be one of the highest awards, sometimes people will base their success off of how many awards that you get from your peers and or the world saying that you're great by giving you this award. He's only received one, not even in the category of where his music lies. And since he's only received one, should he or anybody else, maybe there are people out there who've never received any, should they then say that I'm not great because I have not received an award from the world telling me that I'm great at something? No, I'm here to tell you, and I'm just using this as one of many examples to say that you are great and you don't have to have the world to recognize you or the world to give you some type of award, some type of an award just to prove your greatness. Now, a lot of times it feels good, and I'm a person, a lot of times it feels good and to see comments, likes, shares, all those different things that I hope people do on these videos because I hope it's helping somebody. And sometimes we get lost in it and we allow that to dictate and to show us and to allow us to feel if we're successful or not. It does not mean that. I might have said this before in one of the other lessons, but it bears repeating. I'm going to repeat it here. I remember this person. I'm not going to name him. I'm just going to go into some of the details just for the sake of the story. One great basketball player in high school. Nobody could say this basketball player wasn't good in high school. One of the best in the town that we grew up in. Would have went to a great college, and most would say, almost all would say, would have went to say NBA. Right? That was the path. That was the path that his gift was going towards. Made some type of mistake. Something happened within his life. He ended up going to jail. Never went to college. Never went to the NBA. And when I met up with somebody and they were working as a CO, correctional officer, in that particular jail, and they said, yo, this person was in jail playing basketball and was just giving people the business. Was just, nobody could stop them. This person was scoring at will, doing everything that they wanted to do on the basketball court with the basketball, and just couldn't be stopped. The gift, listen to this, the gift kept moving, the gift kept working. Nobody could stop the gift. I want you to grab what I'm saying to you by example of this gift and your gift. The gift should have been in the NBA, bar none. But since the gift didn't go to the NBA where most would say it was supposed to go, does that mean that the gift still didn't work? Watch this. The gift was still working while the person was imprisoned, even though the person who had the gift wasn't in the place where the gift was taking the person to. I'm saying and I'm proving to you that just because your gift isn't in the space that it's supposed to be in, and maybe it's not there yet, or maybe it just hasn't gotten to where you want it to be, it doesn't mean that you're not gifted. Back to the open example, the Chris Brown effect, just because he doesn't have 10 Grammys like John Legend, who I think has 10 or 11 Grammys. There are many, Justin Timberlake, I think 7 or 8 Grammys. I don't know how many Justin Bieber has, but you can go out and Usher, several, I think 5 or 6, maybe 7 Grammys. And some would say that Chris Brown may be better than some of the other people that I just named, but just because these other people receive more Grammys doesn't mean that their gift is better. Doesn't mean that this gift is not gifted. Your gift, just like the example that I gave, may not be in the space that you believe it should be in or that you know it's going to be in. But that doesn't mean that you're not gifted. And that doesn't mean that one day you won't end up there. And that doesn't mean that you can't function and operate in that gift now just because the world, just because clicks, just because likes, just because views haven't showed you that you're gifted. And maybe it's not clicks, likes, and views. Maybe it's recognition in your job, right? Maybe it's recognition as a parent, right? Maybe it's recognition as a spouse. Maybe it's being recognized as a child, as a single parent. Whatever it may be, do not let the lack of recognition tell you that you are not gifted at what you do and tell you that you are not good at what you do. Continue to do it, continue to refine it, continue to go after it, and I'll end with this. Do it for the love of it. Do it because you enjoy it. Do it because it's what you're gifted to do. And don't do it for always for a pat on the back or for a check. I'm not saying you can't do it for those things, but don't do it only for those things. Watch this, because once you receive the pat on the back, once you receive the check, I want you to start thinking like that. Once you receive the pat on the back, once you get the check for what you're doing, once you get the congratulations, once you get all the comments, the likes, the shares, the views, all this stuff, once you get all this stuff, then are you going to stop? Because if you were doing it for those things and you're now receiving those things, then why would you keep doing it if you got the things, if you got the reason? So I'm saying use this time if you're in a time not receiving the recognition that you want. Maybe you are getting a lot of recognition, but you still don't feel like you're receiving what you should be receiving. Keep going, keep using this time to refine what you're gifted at and to refine your love for it, because you're not doing it for that. And I want you to think this way. Once you do get there, not if, once you do get the pat on the back, the recognition, the award, the check, the money, the raise, once you do get it, are you going to keep doing it? And if you're doing it for the love at this level, then you'll continue to do it on the love, for the love at that level. You're going to get to that level. And some people, believe it or not, have a problem continuing to push once they're receiving everything, because they don't know how to keep pushing, because there's no reason for them to push because they got the things. Use this space to teach yourself. Working out, they call it muscle memory. Or maybe practicing, they call it muscle memory. That means you practice so much on this level that once you get to the next level, it becomes easy. Your muscle remembers what you're doing. You've built a habit to a point where you're jumping in and doing what you're doing without having to think about all that you're doing, because you're used to doing it. Build it that way. For me, the Chris Brown effect, he's got 1 Grammy, but does that mean that his gift is only equal to what the award or what the world has said? No, I don't believe it is, and I don't believe yours is either. I'm carlosVspencer. Thank you for tuning in another week. If you like this, go ahead and click it, like it, subscribe, share, click the notification so you'll be notified when the videos come out every week, and when the podcast comes out every week as well. Thank you for listening in. And I truly believe it does, and I believe it has, but I'm truly hoping that this information is helping you become better, so everything that you do and put your hands to automatically becomes better. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's get it.
Let's go. Let's grow. Let's grow. Let's get it. Let's